Think for me, one of the most important, if not the most important, after considering if the real estate brand you are buying from is a replaceable one, is the location. The location is very important. It is one of the most important things to consider when it comes to real estate purchases, so that you don't, fall prey of premium shaking. So I had a client in my DM complaining about the fact that she purchased, from a very big and reputable real estate branch, purchased a piece of land from them. However, this land has just been there for years. Within the estate or within the location, nothing is moving. People are not moving in. Everything is just like at a stagnant position. And then she's concerned because she can't even, begin to construct on that piece of land. Is also as good as, she just invested money there, and for years the value of that place has just been on a low. So now, if you know you don't want to fall prey for that kind of situation, ensure that even when they come to you telling you that, oh, this piece of land is affordable, that is, when you're buying affordable land, you are not shortchanging your location. Don't, put away the value of location. It is very important. You have to ensure that wherever you're buying from has the potential of rapid value appreciation within years. Otherwise, I would advise you hold on with purchasing that real estate. Except if your own case is you want to buy just to keep for probably your next generation or two generations after, well, you can go ahead and purchase from that place. But if your situation is you want to be able to construct on it maybe within a few years, or you want to sell it out at a higher price later in the future, and probably the nearest future for that matter, please make sure that location is top on your mind. And location, what do I mean by location? Location doesn't necessarily have to be within Lagos. It doesn't necessarily have to be, within urban cities. Sometimes you might end up, purchasing land from developing areas or from rural areas, but they have some key factors. And what are those key factors? Some of the key factors to, take note of is there commercialization in that location? What are the infrastructures that are within that location? For instance, you're purchasing land from a place where the government is currently working on probably the road to make it more accessible, or probably somewhere close to a railway station, or probably somewhere close to an airport. Even if that place is, affordable at that moment, even if that place is probably not yet developed, given a number of years, as long as those infrastructures and those constructions are in place, I can tell you very well that the value of that place is going to skyrocket within a short time. So those are the things for you to consider in order not to end up, falling prey for a situation where you say you buy land and then years after there's nothing happening on my piece of land. I can't even use it for anything. I have fallen prey of that, or let me say, my parents are falling prey of that before. So I am advising you from experience to ensure that you don't also fall into that shoes. Another thing that you need to consider Another thing you need to consider is the security of the land that you are buying. Hey, be sure that there is no family issue, no government acquisition, and any of those kind of things going on in that place. Because if not, you might be at peace for 1 year or 2 years, and then given a few years, you fall into trouble, fall into case where you are going up and down for to settle one court case or the other. That will not be your portion. But what do I mean? Ensure that that land, even if it is a family land, you are getting, like a legal documentation signed by both parties, that is the seller and you, the buyer. Even if there are third parties who are the marketers or whatever, make sure everybody, is in the legal documentation or signs the legal documentation. And also make sure that your legal documentation is original and not fake. Yes, there are some, dubious real estate brands that go, to arrange fake or unreal documents. So please ensure that that document is signed by a lawyer, that you can prove that yes, this is indeed a registered, law agency. That's what I mean. One more thing, on a final note, for those who purchase land and probably are not ready to use it in a number of years, please don't leave your land for 12 years and say, I bought it and then maybe I got busy, I left it. It's just a good way of you saying that you are not interested in the land anymore. I'm always of the school of thought that where your treasure is, your heart should be there. If you bought land that you know that within a few years would appreciate and you can use it to make good money in the nearest future, it's a treasure, it's an asset, it's something that you should value. So you can't take your mind completely off your treasure. What do I mean by that? If you have a piece of land and you have not gone to check your land maybe like in years, please, I'm begging you, just right now, call whoever it is that you need to call the contact person and look for your land. It is very important. If you have a parcel of land or a piece of land, you don't go too far away from it. Even if it is for you to be checking it annually, monthly, whatever system works for you, please always go back to check your land. Always ensure that things are in place in your piece of land. Always ensure that you have put the necessary inscription showing that your land is not for purchase. Always ensure that you are not far away from your land, or you have someone at least that you can always rely on that would help you check that land as regularly as possible. On a final note, do not give your land to someone to use, even if it's a relative. Do not give your land to someone to use without a signed agreement between the both of you. This is one of the highest shege people experience when it comes to real estate purchases. Oh, I'm a farmer. Let me be using your land to farm for a couple of years. When I'm done, you can come and take it. Or when you're ready, rather, to use your land, you can come and take it. My sister, my brother, that is a no, no, no. Have a signed agreement, even if it is with a church, because there's nobody that should be 100% trusted when it comes to assets such as landed properties. You should have a signed agreement with that person on how long the person is going to be leasing it for, how long a person will be using it, and when you want to make use of your piece of land. I hope this helps you, and thank you so much for watching to the end. Have a wonderful